As our MC said, my name is Johnny Bondok, and I'm an old hand in the fast-moving consumer goods industry. From a couple of multinationals to a local telco, and my last stint was as president over 16 years for a regional company that brought to you a food supplement in a small green sachet. Anyway, we brought that from nothing to over 1 billion pesos in less than 2 years. But anyway, after 4 companies and over 25 years of doing my hard yards in corporate Manila and corporate Asia Pacific, and maybe as I approach the half-century mark in life, some existential questions arose. Midlife. Is this all there is to life? Is this all there is to my work life, at least? Or is there something else? Is there something else? I have no complaints for sure. No complaints for sure. I mean, corporate life, especially at a certain level, can be very comfortable and financially rewarding, and it was. But it was hard to ignore the need to do something else. Or perhaps something more. Simultaneously, a couple of friends from way back, we're starting to play around with the healthcare app 2018, and a couple of them are here. And after a few months of some encouraging results in the pilot, patay. The questions in my mind became bigger, and the dream to do something more significant or more meaningful was planted more deeply in my heart and in my mind. So while daunting, and while the pilot was still far from what it needed to be to make it viable for us, the simple question in the mind of this dreamer in front of you can be summarized in 2 simple words. Guess what? Hindi guess what in 2 simple words. Guess what the 2 words were? Okay, you already heard it earlier. What if? It works in Tagalog, Ano kaya? Ano kaya? Okay. So looking at the healthcare situation in the Philippines, we noticed some pain points that you may have observed as well, and you may have experienced as well. And I'd like to cover 3 of the major problematic areas in healthcare. Number 1, in relation to clinic services, we know that only around 6%, I don't know if you know this, only around 6% of our kababayans are covered by HMO insurance. To the rest who are not covered by health insurance, then all these clinic services and tests are simply luxuries that they cannot simply afford. Hindi talaga kaya. Without HMO insurance, no way. No way. So this has led to the mindset, right, that unless a doctor prescribes the test for me, then it's not our kababayan's habit to undergo such tests. No matter if the test will detect or maybe even prevent some of the very bad health conditions we suffer from. So, pain point number 1. Pain point number 2, in relation to medicine purchases. Familiar sa atin, medicine purchases. Okay. There's a report by the Department of Health back in September 2019. Get this. That 99% of our kababayans, that's almost all of us, are not able to buy the complete set of prescription due to budget unavailability. And even among those who are employed, we know that the company benefits, but they do not cover medicine purchases, at least not all. So this has led to the tingi purchase of medicines. I don't know how to translate tingi to Father Andre. Anong tingi? Retail, sachet, di ba? This is tingi purchase of medicine. And you mentioned it, sir, di ba? We have the tingi mentality, of buying soap and shampoo in sachets. We're the tingi capital of the world, di ba? But the same tingi mentality gets applied even to the purchase of medicines, wherein our kababayans are forced to buy maybe 2 to 3 days worth of antibiotics when they should be buying or consuming, medicines good for 7 or even 14 days as a doctor has prescribed. Alright. But unlike, the purchase of soap and shampoo, where the only bad effect is some discomfort for a few days and maybe smelling funny for a few days, you know. Itong tingi purchase of medicines, okay, results in even bigger, more serious problems. One of which is the emergence of antibiotic-resistant pathogens. Yung mga bacteria that's resistant to antibiotics because you don't finish your course, no? So that's pain point number 2. And lastly, please bear with me as I go through the healthcare situation. In relation to vaccinations, there's a study done by GlaxoSmithKline back in 2017 saying that out of 2 million babies born every year, nakasabay ba yung slide? Okay, good. Out of 2 million babies born every year, get this, only 5%, about 107,000 babies, out of the 2 million born, only about 5% are able to get all the 24 vaccine shots prescribed or recommended by the Philippine Pediatric Society. 5%. Only 5%. Thankfully, we have the LGUs who provide support to give the 5 major vaccine shots, no? But still, the gaps exist. And the gap exists even among the working class, who are supposed to be comfortable, no? And capable to provide all these vaccine shots for these kids, no? But look at this, no? If the working class accounts for 50% of our population, then it stands to reason that around 50% of the babies should be able to get all the vaccine shots prescribed, right? But sadly, no, that's not the case. Only 5% of the babies get all the vaccine shots, no, prescribed with the PPS. Now, of course, I'm sure there are other factors, supply issues, personal beliefs, but undeniably, budget unavailability remains as one of the factors preventing completion of the vaccination program. So let me end there. No? So basically, those are the 3 not so bright spots of the healthcare situation in our country today. Don't get me wrong though, gains have been made, and we thank our LGUs, our heroic doctors, all the trusted health institutions. Naku, salamat po. If not for you, it would be worse. But as the figures show, undeniably, pain points and need gaps still remain. Okay? Healthcare situation. So we put healthcare situation on one side, and we look at the other side of the picture in the Filipinos' ordinary life, which is your financial services. And what we've observed is that this financial services sector is not exactly in the best state as well. Get these figures, mga kaibigan. Interesting. Baka alam niyo na, baka hindi, but it's interesting. Ako nagulat. 40% of our kababayans have no physical access to banks. Siguro may kinalaman na rin dyan, we're in archipelago, siguro, iba nasa island, maybe. 75% have no personal bank accounts, no? Outside of their payroll account. Pero personal bank account, 75% have not. And 90 to 95% have no credit cards nor credit score. In a financial survey study sponsored by Union Bank in partnership with Bangko Sentral back in 2019, it was reported, ito mga kaibigan, pansinin natin, that 54%, over half, of the Filipinos' borrowing was still done, or is still being done, through informal channels. Through informal lenders, family, friends. 5-6. Boy na boy. And so despite what could be very oppressive interest rates, no? Many times, it is the only way for our kababayans to make ends meet and survive. Where 48% of them saying, wala, it's just too difficult to apply for a loan through formal channels. Bakit ang hirap kaya? And out of the 48%, thank you, 60% saying, 58 yan to be precise, almost 60% saying that it's the documentary requirements that's most difficult to comply with. Ito, ID, mga 5, 10, dami. So with not much choice, we have a scenario, sorry to be dramatic, where oppressive interest rates further oppress the oppressed. Oppressed na, to begin with, give it na. And the oppressive interest rates oppress them even more. Bigat. So, putting these two realities side by side, no? The healthcare situation on one hand, and the financial services sector on the other hand, we have a scenario wherein the Filipino working class is largely unable
not able to fully avail of all the healthcare services that they need and to fulfill all their healthcare needs. No? Sure, they're hardworking, they're very deserving, but wala, it's just beyond their reach. It's just beyond their reach. And you know, konting kwento lang to ha. This reality is perfectly captured, if not dramatically captured, in this scene we observed when we visited the doctor's clinic some years ago. So you have a mommy, nanay, no, walks into a clinic with baby in her arms. Doc, kano po ba yung bakuna? How much is a vaccine? And the doctor says, of course, a couple of thousand. And the mom, wow, the mom's eyes sank. You could see, the mom's eyes sank. She looked, like telenovela mga kaibigan. She looks down on her baby, kisses the baby on the forehead, and tells the doctor, ako na lang.
Thank you, pare, Doc. Nakikipagsapalaran na po kami.
Yep. That was in Tagalog, sorry, in the vernacular, no? Doc, di po bali, makikipagsapalaran na lang po kami. In English, Doc, we'll just take our chances. So mother walks out of the clinic, baby in her arms, with just a hope and a prayer that she'll be okay. Okay. And that was the turning point. Where my personal what if went beyond my existential questions. No? At this point, it was no longer about, ako, one man search for meaning, kapal ko, what hubris, no? What hubris is it about me? And I can assure you it's not. I can assure you it's not about me. This personal what if has grown into something bigger, as it should. You know? A what if on a solution that can be pursued, no? Ito yan, mga kaibigan. What if we can help address some healthcare problems? Or what if we can help ease some financial burdens or issues? Or eto kami sa SureServ, trying to go for the home run, going for the fences, or kung sa basketball, half-court shot. Baka sakali. What if we can come up with a solution that addresses both healthcare and financial services? Alright, so without further ado, dami akong satsat. Without further ado, please allow us, the SureServ team, to humbly, but with boldness in my heart and mind, to share with you the reason why we asked you to come here tonight. I believe we've come up with something special. I believe we've put together something special, one that's potentially a game-changing solution to the healthcare and financial service issues confronting our kababayans today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here to see this. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen from the media and the press, naku, maraming salamat po esteemed guests, friends, family, Kathy, Trixie, Father Andre, Mom, lahat na. Thank you. Without further ado, drum roll, and please feel free to applaud if you're so moved. Ladies and gentlemen, SureServ. Let's watch